haters be giving my name to the feds. They went to my parents' house, I was at home in bed. All this left either want me in prison or dead. I pulled up at the crib, MAGA hat still on my head.
Bryson Gray says it all started with the hat. A giant MAGA hat he started wearing in response to Trump haters.
So I said, I'm not going to be the friend of Trump hat, so I went and bought the biggest one.
If he's so racist, I'm trying to understand. Hold on, like, listen, what he trying to do? Yeah, well, I gave you the 5. One thing, we're here for a Black Leadership Summit. There's hundreds of us out here. You know what I'm saying? If he's so racist about hundreds of Black people supporting Trump, do we all hate our own race? I don't hate her.
Smoke if you want it, ayy. I'm with the smoke if you want it, with the smoke if you want it, ayy.
He's referring to Ace, this guy. The 3 died is the people that he's laying on. This is their grave site. And he just smiled at the pictures of dead children.
Death threats, now the FBI, what's next? No evidence, but the left label me a suspect.
Take away from the word. I'm simply repeating Bible verses in a clever way and putting it in rap. And things like that get banned off of YouTube, banned off of TikTok, banned off of all these things for hate speech. But you can talk about the opposite. You can talk about sex. You can talk about sex before marriage all day long. You can talk about killing people all day long. Pulling up on your ops, pull up on their block with the Glock. You know what I'm saying? That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, coke. You can talk about drugs, coke. You can talk about rape even.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty wild.
Bryson Gray is a rapper and political commentator who routinely sends people into a panic with his outspoken honesty about Black Lives Matter, social issues, and Donald Trump. He's at Bryson Creates on Instagram, and you can watch his music videos and live streams on Bryson Gray on YouTube. Bryson, thanks for joining me. You're so honest and entertaining. I've wanted to talk to you for a long time, so thanks for joining me, good sir.
Of course. I'm glad to be on, man.
Thank you. And I want to jump right into it and talk about Black Lives Matter and the culture that seems to be stemming from years and years of it being pushed. You recently had a debate with a leftist, a young man who goes by Leftism is Liberty, on defunding the police. And I want to jump into a clip from that and ask you about the idea that he's presenting. So let's go ahead and play that first.
So in summary, my plan to defund the police would be more effective at reducing crime than any other plan that involves maintaining the police's current level of funding or increasing it.
Because the truth of the matter is, the answer is to change culture. I don't think education will matter if people going to school not caring about education because they want to go sell dope because they're listening to NBA Youngboy every day, or all their favorite rappers are talking about shooting up the ops block, spinning their block twice. Because I'm gonna be honest, when I listen to some of this gangster music, I want to go spin the block on the ops. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, you have to change culture and media and a lot of things like that if you actually want to bring down crime.
Bryson, a few cities have cut budgets, LA and New York, Minneapolis, Seattle, Portland. They want to get rid of police altogether, replace it with social workers, whatnot. To present both sides, is reimagining policing a good way to prevent more crime if we put the money towards something else? Or do violent neighborhoods need more policing, do you think?
These people need more police. And if you go ask a lot of these parents of these victims, they're going to tell you they need more police. Obviously, you're not going to send a social worker to stop gangbangers. What are they going to do? Their social worker might end up getting shot. This is insanity. The truth is, if you don't change culture, nothing is going to happen. And no disrespect, even when it comes to education, you can change education all you want. What does that matter? These kids don't even go to school in the first place. These kids don't even go to school. Why are you worried about education? They don't care. You have to change the culture. You have to make them want something better. Then you bring in things like education. But people are too dumb to see the obvious.
So what aspects of the culture are you talking about changing?
You have to change what goes into these people's minds to begin with. Like, I don't know if you know, but in rap music, there's a thing that's popular where they say they're smoking somebody. So it'll be a name. Like some people say they're smoking Tuka, smoking Bibby. And a lot of people listen to this music and don't understand what it's saying because they don't know anything about Black culture. They are talking about real dead people.
Yeah, well, I actually want to show that in a bit. Before we get to that, I want to ask about BLM specifically and why they choose, for lack of a better term, martyrs. Jacob Blake, Floyd, Brown, Breonna Taylor. Why are they choosing people who it seems like, of course we don't want them to be dead, But why are they choosing people with large criminal histories who are not somebody you should like be holding up and painting murals of? Why do they choose these people to turn into their movement?
Because they don't have many options. Because the problem that they act like is happening isn't happening.
Okay.
There's no such thing as police hunting black people in the street and just killing them. So when they see anything that even could possibly resemble it, or they can spin it and make it seem like some innocent person just got shot, then they just use it. The Micaiah one though, that one I'm over it after that. Like if you're saying a police officer should have done something different in that case after he just saved a black woman's life, then I at that point we've become an upside down world. This is too crazy. I don't even care anymore.
It's I don't think it's happened in a long time, but there's no Spike Lee movie. There's no Al Sharpton mass protest for mass shootings in Chicago or in Baltimore. Is this just why are these being avoided by organizations like BLM? Is it too much into a narrative of that they have a problem that they need to solve themselves as opposed to blaming somebody else? Help me understand why if we're against mass shootings, there's one every 4th of July times 10 in Chicago. Why don't we do anything about that?
They don't care about that. They think that's justified. Didn't you hear? The police should have just let them have a knife fight, even though only one person had a knife. The police should just let them have a knife fight. This is where we at 2021. So you want to know the truth? Nobody cares when black people kill black people, but don't let a white person kill a black person. Even if it's justified, we don't even care. Just the simple fact that it happened, we need to go get some free TVs from Target. So that's 2021 wrapped up in a bow for you.
I know I'm laughing, but it's just because the situations are so ridiculous, especially with the most recent one. Now, the video, I think you were mentioning, the music video, I watched a live stream of yours called This is the Problem with Black Culture, it was called. And it's about the craziest music video I've ever seen. Now, I've been watching rap and hip hop pretty much my entire life, and I'm new to this strain of rap. So let's show this part from your live stream, producer Justin, and then I want you to explain to people, because it's at first it's really hard to understand.
This will discuss you, but just watch.
Started shooting at them.
Slide through the 12, I don't see nobody outside. Listen, boy, you don't get no rep on doing drive-bys. Ace from the west, how he clicked up with the east side. He ain't been the same since he seen them other 3 die.
Listen to what he just said. He ain't been the same since he's seen them other 3 die. He's referring to Ace, this guy. The 3 died is the people that he's laying on. This is their grave site. And he just smiled at the pictures of dead children. Not children, they're like probably 16, 18. Listen, he's smiling as he's laying on a picture of 3 dead black men laying on their grave site and saying he hasn't been the same since these 3 kids died, because he doesn't like the 3 people that died, so he's mocking their death.
Now, Bryson, I'm in touch. I knew who Youngin Ace is. I didn't know who this rapper is. And at first I thought this is probably a tribute song to those 3 guys that died. But this is a rapper celebrating the other people that he may or may not have shot?
Yeah, so this is how gang culture works, and it isn't new. It started with Chicago drill rap when they started saying like smoking Tuka. Like Chief Keef made that line popular, and people thought it was like he was actually talking about marijuana. No. Tuka is a dead opposition of his gang, like a dead person, and that's how you mock their deaths. And in this case, this was a response song to Youngin Ace. He just released a popular song called "Who I Smoke," and he says a name, "Who I Smoke." Bibby, and he said the names. Them people he said he's smoking was that person in the video you just watched are his dead friends. So his video is a response mocking his dead friends. The funniest part is Youngin Ace posted a clip on Instagram of like a sort of a video remix of his song "Who I Smoke," and instead of having them on it, he had Derek Chauvin on it, saying he's smoking him because of injustice. But in the real song, you're mocking dead people's deaths. And how can you be a social justice warrior?
Yeah, in 2018, I covered a march to end gun violence in Toronto, and that was when it was a former gang leader turned some sort of activist. He was telling me about how TikTok and Instagram have become just like people posting 30-second beef videos, in each other's hoods or in each other's neighborhoods and basically asking people to come shoot them, which I thought was a new level of insane, but maybe I'm getting old and maybe that's just me showing. But if you search this video on YouTube, is what I found is that there's even criminal lawyers reacting to this, talking about how they're incriminating themselves in the video, sort of a Bobby Shmurda thing going on there. But it's crazy. I didn't know. Is it this widespread, like these types of songs now?
How many? You see that video? How many views you think it got now? It's probably at 3.5 million views. The other one with Young and Ace is almost at 40 million views. Rare you get a dislike. It might be 1,000 dislikes to 50,000 likes. Obviously, people are loving this. They love watching it. And a lot of people know what's going on and still love watching it. Like these people that talk about BLM in their bios, they know exactly what's going on in these songs, and they still love it. But this stems from drill culture, and it's becoming more. It was only in Chicago, then it went to the UK, then the stabbing incidents went up, and now it's New York drill. Now you have Florida drill. Them kids are from Florida. It's only gonna get worse because nobody even realized what's going on.
Yeah, and I'd love to talk to you another time about the UK hip-hop culture scene there. It's really weird to me. But I want to ask you, what's the line, do you think, between entertainment and being harmful to culture? Is this the clear line? Just like in a reference I wrote down was, as Cuties was a clear line for movies. Is this a clear line where it goes too far?
This is, like I said, this type of music has been going on since 2012. And it was widespread then. It just wasn't mainstream then, and now it's mainstream. I think it's been too far. And I think the problem is, even if you watch reaction videos, people are laughing at it. Like, ha, 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 these kids dying. Like, look at reaction videos. The reaction videos are popular too. And they're just laughing like, dang. And I think it's normalized now to the point where a lot of us don't even look at it as something that negative. But what we do look at as negative is a police officer shooting a criminal, and most of the times it's justified. That's where we draw the line. But we don't draw the line at you mocking people's deaths while their parents are still alive. Like, you can watch the mothers of these children that people mock. They're on interviews crying, like, stop talking about you smoking my baby. You know what I'm saying? They're crying, but nobody cares, bro. Nobody gives a crap. So, I mean, I don't know. Is this a line? Is this too far? Or we go farther next week? Come to find out. Next week in America.
You know, I think back of the days of 2003 mixtape beefs and where we are now. To change direction before we lose the whole non-hip-hop audience, you know, direction of the Republican Party is something that I've been asking people a lot about these days, because it's kind of getting mixed messaging these days. Do people want to keep going in the Trump direction? Do they think that the Republicans were just faking it until he leaves? And you had an interesting debate on Slightly Offensive, which I love the four-person debates you guys had. This one was about LGBT stuff in politics, and let's just show what I mean, and then we'll get you to talk about it.
That is a 6'3" grown man in a dress. He need to be playing basketball or hoop and throw him a pigskin or something. He need to be getting some sports. But unfortunately, he wants to dress up like a woman. And he told me in real life that he don't even like dressing up like a woman. So yes, in real life he said that. Yeah, facts. So and I got witnesses, of course, and he has to admit it. But so obviously it's degenerate, and I wouldn't want to take a picture with this person because you're promoting degeneracy. So that's obviously. Your second question: if all gay people, because everybody's gay, trans, all y'all gay in some kind of way, if all y'all disappeared, guess what? We wouldn't have no people boycotting Chick-fil-A. We wouldn't have nobody saying we need gay representation in TV shows. And then the rest of Gen Z will be gay. And then, hey,
you do realize that most of the people who are actually screaming and crying about representation on TV are actually like straight liberals. You do realize that, right? Because I know so many people who are actually like very quiet. Yeah, there is 2 or 3, but the straight liberals are the ones that are always doing the most. Every single time I see one of these white chicks.
I encourage people to go watch the rest of that, because the person in the top left corner of the screen there's parts where they, XG, whatever, are fact-checking you in real time and realizing that he's wrong after he says the opposite. So it's really entertaining, I just want to say. But now we've got 2021, you've mentioned many times. Caitlyn Jenner is now running as a Republican in California, he says.
Bruce.
Is this bad for the party, for the Republican Party, or is it better, do you think, to pitch to a wider tent of people and try to bring more ideas into the party?
This has to be the worst marketing plan I've ever seen by any political party in the history of mankind. But even as just a marketing plan, I think less than 1 million people, less than 1 million gay people voted for Trump last election, right? Now, let me just ask a simple mathematical question. How much of the GOP base do you think are Christians?
70%?
70% probably. Now, let's say, of course, most Christians are not real biblical Christians. Let's be honest. Most of them are just soft anyway. Let's get something clear. Let's just say a small number. Let's say 15% of that Christian base are Christians like me that's not going to support that type of stuff. Let's just say 10. Say 10. It's still probably quadruple the amount of that gay portion you're trying to pander to. The math is not on your side. Doing that makes no sense. You're going to lose every election to ever exist because you're trying to out-left the left. Who told you that was a good marketing plan? I think my camera went blurry, my bad. But who told you that it was a good marketing plan to go against math, to go against simple math? That's insane to me. You got people like Lady Maga. This person is literally, have you seen Lady Maga in real life?
No, not in real life, no.
Bro, 6'3", 6'4" with heels on, with a dress on. We could have had.
I mean, Dennis Rodman did do that, if you recall.
But let's be honest, something is wrong with Dennis Rodman.
Would you support a third party coming out of the woods because of this?
Yes, period.
Okay.
We needed a movement because I'm gonna tell you the truth. Because here's the thing: the GOP is where the Democrats were 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're going far left. It's not right versus left no more. It's the left versus far left now. And if they continue going this way, I'm not supporting nobody like that. Period. Point blank. I will not compromise my faith in the name of politics because that's denying God before man, which I won't do. So there had to be a third party because I'm willing to not vote. I don't vote for the lesser of two evils. That sounds like stupidity to me. I vote for what's right. So if nobody is right, I'm not voting.
Do you think this is how the Republicans and conservatives? I mean, up here, it didn't shock me, but I was disappointed to see how little the Conservative Party was willing to fight, how little they're willing to actually stand up for and speak out in public. Is this who they thought that? Did we know that this is who they were, or were you surprised at all when, I don't know, when the GOP wanted to throw Trump out of the party, or now how they're basically trying to forget that he was there?
I was duped. A lot of us were duped. We thought the GOP was something we thought it was, even though we saw clear signs early on. But we still tried to hold on to it. And I was a new GOP person. I just changed my party to Republican in like 2017. So I was, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, okay, you know what I'm saying? I like this party. And I'm sitting here debating people about the GOP. But they showed their true colors all along. We just didn't really try to look at it. And now that we see it, it's just becoming worse. You got Republican pride, like them just really just going in, promoting to the LGBT community. And it's like, where do real Christians go? Like, where do we go? Because we can't support this.
And this is what I wanted to get into next, was you've had a lot of heated debates with other Christians, or maybe in your people who say that they're Christian. Joel Patrick is somebody I watched you debate on Instagram. Now, I want to show a clip of you explaining why you rap about this and why you talk about this with Elijah Schaefer. So let's get to that, Justin.
And rap about what the world says. Why do you choose to rap about this kind of stuff?
Because somebody got to do it. And that's one of my taglines, obviously. But I really mean it. I mean, when I didn't even know who artists like Lecrae was earlier this year, but my girlfriend was letting me hear some of his music, and then I watched some of his interviews, and he was just literally running around the LGBT question. Then you go to Kirk Franklin, T.D. Jakes, Joe Osteen, all the popular people that's supposed to be people of Christ, representing Christ, and they're denying God before man. And then now you got homosexuals talking about they go to church with their partners who they refer to them as their husbands, and I'm like, you do what?
Now, do you feel that at this point your faith in even Christianity is being sort of like watered down or given a social justice spin just so it can have a wider appeal?
Satan will come as an angel of light. He would come and appear as an angel of light, because this is obviously what's going on. They have all this, like now, I bet you amongst Christians, I bet you probably 50% of Christians probably would support the LGBT community, which is literally against what Jesus said. Literally. I mean, like, I don't know how far you can go away from Jesus and to say something like that. But that's where we're at now, and it has been watered down. It's because of the people that's supposed to be representation of the faith they're sitting here denying Christ before man. And what Jesus say he was going to do if you deny him before man? He will deny you in front of his Father. So I will never do that, because to me, all this stuff is worldly. These followers, this money, this YouTube, all this stuff is worldly stuff. So if you think I'm going to be a friend of the world, and because to be a friend of the world makes you an enemy of God, the Bible says. So you think I'm going to become an enemy of God for what? For 1 million followers, $1 million? That sounds like pure craziness to me. I'm cool right now. As long as you live within your means, you don't have to worry about stuff like that. Seek first the kingdom of God. And I think Christians within itself forgot that part of the Bible. I don't know what Bible they read, to be honest. It has to be a remix. I haven't found it yet, so I'm looking though.
Did you think that Kanye's whole 2 years pushing what he was pushing was an effective way of conveying a Christian message? Or was it just a faith or spiritual message?
I think it was a good introduction into faith. Because Kanye is a new Christian, and he started making music about it, which is, I would rather have that versus Cardi B any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it was a good intro. I just want to know how far is he along now. I hope he's got more into the word and realize that you have to speak out against these things. The Bible says call out sin in front of all people. The Bible says expose darkness, do not be associated with it. So I'm waiting for that Kanye to come out. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good intro.
Now, do you think it's possible to be conservative without being Christian?
You can be, but think about it like this. Conservative means something. To be fully conservative, you have to be socially conservative and fiscally conservative. Because if you're socially liberal and fiscally conservative, that'll make you basically like a white supremacist. No, not white supremacist, but like a far leftist, which is a libertarian mostly. And then if you fiscally liberal and socially conservative, that'll make you one of them white supremacist type libertarian type people. They're very socially conservative, but they like the Bernie Sanders economic plan if you actually talk to a white supremacist. But that, once again, you're not conservative at that point. They wouldn't call themselves conservative. They'll call themselves socially conservative, but they're probably more likely aligned with libertarianism. So to be conservative, you have to be both. And if you're not both, stop claiming to be conservative because you're messing up the name. You ruining it. Just call yourself a libertarian. It's okay. You don't have to be conservative, bro.
Libertarianism has its own issues, in my opinion. Okay, we're going to move behind the paywall here, Bryson. We're going to talk about lockdowns and coronavirus, the stuff that they don't want us to talk about on YouTube specifically. So if you guys want to see the rest of it, and I know you do, it can't get any more exciting as it's going to get. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. It's just $8 a month, or you can get $80 for a full year, which saves you a free 2 months plus a month-long trial subscription. So rebelnewsplus.com, and you'll see the rest of what Bryson has to say, you guys. Thank you for watching Andrew Says. If you want to see the full uncut version, go to rebelnewsplus.com and sign up today so you can see the entire episode where we talk about topics we can't show you on YouTube. They'll ban us.